Hey y'all, it's Michael, and today I'm here to do my fall wrap-up. So these are the books that I read just in October. So let's get started. First off, I read books for Hispanic Heritage Month. I'll link my video here. It was a great month. Well, it was a month and some change, but it was a great reading experience. Definitely check it out because it includes one of my favorite books, which is 2666. First off, I want to talk about a book that I DNF'd during a read-along with Frenchie D and Steven for Some Sing Some Cry. I actually really was enjoying the book. I got around 60% of it, and because of life I just stopped because I was like, I need to get my mind right for this book, and so I DNF'd it, but I will go back to it eventually because it was actually really good. Like, it was a really good book, so there's that. First is Abandon the Old in Tokyo by Yoshihiro Tatsumi, edited by Adrian Tomine. This is a graphic novel. It's actually short stories, and apparently this is like his second in a trilogy or something like that, but I haven't read the other ones in the trilogy, and apparently you don't need to. You guys, this was such a great find. I randomly found this in my library, just was like, let me get something. It is so weird, and I mean that in the nicest way possible, and bizarre. This book, the short stories were so weird. Well, first off, all the stories are basically like about working class essentially and everyday person, but then there's always something like fantastical or something really weird that happens. Because one of the most memorable stories in here is with this man, and all of a sudden it gets like, it was uncomfortable, but I was like, what the heck is going on, where he starts having like fun times with this dog. It was so weird. I really liked it. It was awkward but also like, it was really dark but funny because some of the situations were really funny. Usually the only weird thing about this was that the main character for each story looked similar because it's drawn in this very simplistic, not even like a normal manga way. Apparently, okay, I wrote this down. Apparently he came up with this style, Tatsumi, called Gengika, which is like a realistic type of manga, because I know people that don't watch anime or don't read a lot of mangas always say that the style is really similar and it's all the same, blah blah blah, but when you start watching a lot of animes and reading a lot of mangas, you start noticing that like the style is actually really different within each manga or anime, and it really is diverse. People that aren't into it, they tend to think that it's really similar, but it's really not. This style is really different. I really enjoyed this book. It was just so weird. Yeah, I gave it 4 stars out of 5. I was just like, this is weird, but I loved it. The next one that I listened to was Carrie by Stephen King, narrated by CC Spacek. First off, CC Spacek is like one of my favorite narrators. She narrated To Kill a Mockingbird. Guys, if you're looking for an audiobook and you're looking for some classics, that audiobook is amazing. She's so good, and she was great in this one too. This is Stephen King's first novel, and you can really see that it's his first novel. It's nowhere near the extravagance of like Under the Dome or like The Stand. It is nowhere near The Stand. But for a debut novel, I thought it was really, really good. It talks mainly about, I mean, we all know about this, about Carrie who's being bullied and she's just going through high school essentially, but then in the end she discovers that she is really special. The ending was really cool. Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it. It was a short listen, so I didn't mind it. I gave it 3 stars out of 5. The next one was a graphic novel that I didn't include in my Hispanic Heritage Month. But it was Sloth by Gilbert Hernandez. This book was weird. It's about this guy named Miguel who wakes up from a coma, and then like it deals with the supernatural forests, and there are some like few unexpected turns in the story, but at the end of the day I thought it was literally okay. Like, it didn't move the needle for me. So I wouldn't recommend it, but if you see it and you're like, oh, I guess. Yeah, I gave it 3 stars out of 5. It was, yeah, it just didn't do anything for me. So yes, the next book is The Darkest Child by Dolores Phillips, narrated by Charisse Booth. This book, guys. This book was fantastic. This book, it deals with a lot. I first heard this book from Mercedes from Mercy's Bookish Musings. She was talking about it and I was like, oh, that sounds like up my alley, and oh my gosh, it was. First off, there's a lot of triggers in this book, just to let you know. So, because since I listened to this, there were some moments that was really hard to listen to. Like, I had to literally pause it and was like, oh my, okay, let me just take a break right quick and listen to something else, because there's some gruesome moments in this book, physically and mentally abusing. This takes place actually in Georgia, and you guys, that's one of my weaknesses, is books that take place in the South. So this book is about Tangy May, who is 13, growing up in the South. The main theme that I got from it was that the relationship between mother and daughter, because Tangy May, she is a really, and she's a smart girl. The people want her to be because they're about to do integration in public schools, and the teachers actually want her to integrate to a predominantly white school, and because they see how smart she really is, and she actually wants to do it. She wants to get a better education. She wants to improve herself, but then there is one hurdle in that whole situation, and that is her mom. This is where the book theme really covers. Her mom, Roselle. Lord have mercy. So Roselle is like light skinned. Basically, she is really close to a fair complexion. All of her children are, yes, all like 10 of them. There's like 10 of them. They're all like light skinned except for Tangy May. She is the darkest out of all of them. Hence the title of the book. Because of this, the stigma of being darker skinned, the book talks about how being darker skinned, especially to Roselle. First off, Roselle. The award to the worst mother of the year for me is this woman. First off, she is really abusive, not only physically but mentally, and she is that type of person that she doesn't want anyone to succeed unless it is personally her, not even the people that's around her. And I'm not even calling no names, but she does stuff that is awful. Like, ooh, God, I wanted to literally, like, as I was listening to it, I wanted to just one of those is like your children leaving you, because Roselle does have attachment issues and she doesn't like want to be alone, but at the same time, you know, you don't want to leave your parents because those are your parents, but at the same time you need to leave your parents, especially when they're that abusive. And then it also brings about this like entitlement that parents have, that since I birthed you, I raised you, that you should basically listen to me. But at the end, if your mom keeps saying 1 + 1 = fish, but it's not fish, who are you to believe? And it's also, since talking about relationship, it's also like just Tangy May just wanna be loved, like homegirl just wanna be loved. And at the end of the day, if your mom is real, there's some stuff in here that we discover now. Nobody says it outright, but there's some stuff you find out about Roselle, and I was like, At the end, this book made me mad. Like, not even because I was mad at the book, I was mad at how well written Roselle was, because this book is really about Tangy May, and when Tangy May was just taking all this crap from her mom, I was so mad. This is one of my favorite books of the year. I should have done a whole review on it, but I did run out of time. But I highly recommend this book. I loved it. 5 stars out of 5. Go read it. The next book that I read, I'm not gonna talk about it because I really didn't enjoy it, which was Day Black by Keith Cross. This takes place actually in Georgia, and it's about this vampire who is like a tattoo artist. I don't know about this. I thought the story was okay. It didn't do anything for me, but then also the art, I didn't enjoy the art. It was really weird, and I don't know if that was because of the printing process or whatever, because some of the pictures weren't like the highest quality. It just wasn't. I don't know. It just wasn't. Yeah, there's that. So yeah, the next one that I finished towards the end of October, which was the Compendium 1 of The Walking Dead. I did a whole video of it, you guys. I loved it. And I know in that video I really talk about the characters, and I didn't really give about plot, because at the end of the day, that comic book series is not really about plot. It's about Rick and how he is changing and how these people are almost close to losing their humanity in a world that is losing humanity. It was good, you guys. I slowly waiting for the next volume. That's all I can do. So yes, those are the books that I didn't get to talk about that I read in October. I will do my November and December books that I read during those months. So yes, by the time I post this, it should be New Year's. It should actually, yeah. So Happy New Year. Until then, I'll see you guys till later. And if you read any of the books below, let me know and tell me what you think. So bye. In case you're wondering, like, Michael, why is your room dark? Like, what's going on here? Just to let you know, my room is really messy, as you can tell. Look, you see how messy it is? I don't know if it's even in focus, but yeah, it's really messy. So I was like, I don't want y'all to see that.